Hello and good morning in Europe, good evening in the United States. This is Aurora with another daily output video. As you know, in this series of morning videos, we are looking at what happened yesterday in the market, what was the most important news and events, what is going on right now, and what is our expectation for today's financial market. So let's first review what happened yesterday. Yesterday, from economic, we had a different data from in the economic calendar, and a good news from the spreading of and the situation of the Omicron variant of coronavirus. As you know, and as Mr. Fauci also told, coronavirus, the variant of the Omicron variant is not as dangerous as it was expected. It was less dangerous than even Delta, and even it may can help the ending the pandemic a little bit faster than earlier expectations. So therefore, this good news, in line with the other economic data that we had yesterday from Eurozone GDP data from Eurozone and other data, altogether help that we can have a better than expected, better all this better than expected data helped us to have a positive sentiment in the market. This positive sentiment in the market helped the stock markets all across the world. Wall Street closed at the green zone with a very good improvement. Sorry, uh, with more than sorry, with more than 2% increase in S&P 500, and Nasdaq increased more than 3%, while the Dow Jones also had 1.4% gain. So it was an amazing day for Wall Street. Same same positive sentiment we had before that in European market, with almost 3% gain in the DAX and CAC 14 in France, and 1.5% gain in the UK 100. So all these positive sentiments together kind of moved the market to something that we couldn't expect like 3 days ago, when we had so many news about the Omicron variant of coronavirus. However, all this positive news means that, look at here, this positive news that yesterday we had. First, let's go here first. All this positive news and changes helped the US dollar index to again increase to 90, more than 96.60, because of expectations for the hawkish policy, for more hawkish, for more tightening policies from the central bank. We had a correction earlier today. However, this is most of the main reason actually is because that still there is an uncertainty in the market about the Omicron variant. There are some news that they're telling that no, they're showing that still because of fast spreading of the virus can change the market. So this is can change the situation. So this uncertainty a little bit again put the US dollar under pressure. But however, generally, and put when US dollar was under pressure, it helped the gold to increase about 1,790, and it is still in the uptrend in the short term for the day trading. However, this increase in the stock markets that we see, in it, this is the Dow Jones futures, this SP 500 futures, this is the Nasdaq future, and it is Dow Jones future. All of them, as you see from the technical point of view, all of them, they are moving in a very clear uptrend. However, the question is how far they can go while we have very while the expectations from central banks to have more tightening policies increasing. Next week we will have the meeting in Europe, and we will have the meeting in the United States. Therefore, the markets should be more caution on these levels. So the expectations is to stop the uptrend around these levels and waiting for next week's meeting. About the economic data, yesterday we had European European GDP at 3.9% in third quarter as a as a final data, which is very good, and a little bit better than expectations of 3.7%. However, earlier today we had a GDP from Japan as well, but it was showing that the Japanese economy in the third quarter fell 3.6% comparing to last year's third quarter, which is very bad news. And but it itself In the third quarter, it was 0.9% downtrend. It was negative 0.9%, minus 0.9%. So same thing with the GDP, same as the GDP numbers, the current accounts or we say the current account in the Japanese and European, they say current account, we say trade balance. The trade balance is also was less than expected. It was positive, but 1.18 at 1.18, much lower than 1.30 trillion dollars that it was expected. So generally the numbers shows that we cannot be that much happy or positive about the Japanese economy, and this data should look at the data and its expectations in the economy. Here, actually this downtrend in USD GBP, because or which it means that the Japanese yen is a little bit stronger. It is mostly because of the downtrend of USD index or DXY, not because of the stronger Japanese yen. The weaker US dollar put that in this situation. Otherwise, with the data that we have from the Japanese economy, it could be more in an uptrend. So that's why that is still. So therefore, our outlook for the Japanese yen still is positive. So it's like USD JPY actually for Japanese yen is still negative, which it means that for USD JPY is still positive. So we have to the outlook still there. Yesterday also we had the EIA short-term energy outlook. Then let's go to the chart, crude oil chart. This is a crude oil chart. As you see, the crude oil chart still is positive and in uptrend. EIA in its short-term outlook is expecting to see the oil for the rest of 2021 about $71, and for the first quarter of 2022 about $73. So this is the expectations for the price. They are expecting to have a little bit more increase, but uncertainty because of Omicron variant. But it can be better outlook with the latest update that we had from Omicron variant of the coronavirus. Same as well, they had the same positive, a little bit positive outlook for the gas market as well. So this is about that. And just added to that, last night we had API data as well. API numbers shows that we had more than 3 million barrels decreased in crude oil inventories in the private section last week for the week ended at Saturday for December. So which is not a good news, and so therefore it can help the crude oil price. So this is one of the reasons that stopped downtrend, stopped the falling, a little bit falling in the prices from above $72. So the price generally, the data and price and the EIA energy outlook generally shows that we can bet more on an uptrend than downtrend. Anyway, we have to wait for today's EIA weekly report as well for the US crude oil inventories. Also, today we will have US GLT's job opening, which is important. With market also can be focused on that. But however, for Canadian dollar, let's go to the Canadian dollar, which was one of the best. Why I'm telling you about that, I will tell you why. Canadian dollar was one of the best currencies in the last days. There's two reasons for that. Firstly, because of oil price. As you see, the oil price increased. This increasing in oil price in the last days put again the Canadian dollar in a stronger position. On the other hand, today we will have the Canadian Central Bank's meeting. BOC will have a meeting, and we are waiting to see a little bit more hawkish policies from the Canadian Central Bank, even if they do not change their interest rates, which is more possibly they will hold the current rates. Still, what is happening is that the current rate is 0.25%. If they do not change, but they will probably they can change the policy about the their asset purchasing plan, and their tone about the statement tone about the having a better than good improvement in the economy and stuff like that. So the Canadian economy was one of the best economy during the recovery after the pandemic. So therefore we are waiting to see a little bit even if with some correction today, but still Canadian dollar is expected to be stronger in next days as the oil prices recovered and Canadian central bank's meeting is expected to be more to have more hawkish tone. Uh, so this is the general in the market. Let me see if there is anything that I missed to say. We talked about the oil price. We talked about the US dollar. You know that the US 10 years bond yields, the 10 years bond yields yesterday increased a little bit. However, today we had some weakness in the rates, and we could see again it is falling to 1.46%. Yesterday it increased about almost 1.49%. Day before it was 1.30 some. So now it's 1.46. Generally it's increasing, but still in the last hours we had some downtrend in the US 10 years bond yield. So we have to take care by that a little bit. However, the general market situation condition is that, as you know, this week is not such a huge week with the economic data. Mostly is about coronavirus news and Friday's inflation data from China and United States. Thursday and Friday we'll have inflation data. There it will be much more important to watch because with the current situation, this inflation data, inflation numbers will tell us that what we have to expect from next week's central bank's monetary policy meeting. Okay, guys, this is what was the most events and tips up to now for today for financial market. For today, about the events for today for US dollar index, we can see so after some correction, still US dollar index is an uptrend. We can see the US dollar again. Technically, we can have some signals for the more correction. From the tech actually, yeah, under the 96.20. 96.25 is the pivot point, and trading under this we can put more pressure on US dollar. Crude oil technically and fundamentally is uptrend, and we can see higher numbers. RSI at 58 and OBV flat. OBV increasing the price is increasing that. Gold is uptrend for the day trading, and with the correction we can but holding above 1783 as a pivot point can still help the trend to increase more. SP 500, Nasdaq and Dow Jones, all of them they are in technical uptrend, but as I told, the caution will be here. So let's go into cryptocurrency market. As you see, the Bitcoin couldn't hold when it comes to the recovery, couldn't recover all its gain or all its loss, and now still we are in almost around 50% of its pivot points from its last fall. Technically, still we are in a downtrend. RSI under 45, under 50 at around 45, decreasing OBV trend line in the H4 chart. Same almost thing we can see in H1 chart. So therefore, technical data also helping the fundamental news that we can see a little bit more downtrend in cryptocurrencies. Mr. Biden controversy anti-crypto compared to nominated withdrawal. We have some positive data from the different. I mean, not the positive data in news, or at least in news they're trying to show it positive, but still, what we can see in the market is that the data overall, the data that we have, it doesn't show that there is any signal for to have a better than to have a positive outlook for the cryptocurrency market right now. We can probably see more downtrend, lower prices for the main currencies actually, but the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ripple I'm talking, we can see a little bit lower numbers before any uptrend. So this downtrend, how far it can go, is dependent when we have some data that can change the market attitude. But for now, we don't have any specific news that can change the market attitude. Okay, guys, it was today's outlook from the market. As I told, it was not that much busy market, and it's not going to be that much busy market till Friday. See you guys tomorrow. Let me know please your idea. Leave me write me your idea about in the comments what you think to hear more, to see more in the daily outlook videos at the early mornings. See you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.